And thank you for staying tuned. As you can see, we try to change the format. The table is gone here. And our instructor extraordinaire is going to be talking to us about some parts of the body that we don't normally discuss when talking about the golf swing. You hear a lot about the shoulder turn and the hips and the legs and the position of the head. You don't hear a lot about the wrist and the ankles. Tell us why those are particularly important areas in the golf swing.
Daniel, they certainly are a part of the golf swing that's not appreciated, so to speak. So we wanted to give them their due just today. So what we'd like to do is have our viewers see some of the things we do, not only at our golf school, but they do at the Titleist Performance Institute, to check and see mobility, flexibility in the wrists and the ankles so that they can maximize themselves and really help out the golf swing. You know, if you think about it, obviously when you put the club in your hands and you're getting ready to hit, and when you swing, the wrists are actually doing a lot of motion. You know, if I put the club up here in front of me and just start kind of chopping with my wrists a little bit and then kind of turn myself and get in my swing position, as you can see, they're loading and unloading. Well, I need to make sure that they have a proper range of motion so I can load up the club to the fullest so I can get a good hard strike. So let's start, first of all, by testing both you, Daniel, and you, Chris. And we're going to check our wrists. I'll steal that back from you if I may. To see how much range of motion we have in our wrists when we take them and do what we call flex our wrists, which is put them down like this as far as we can. As you can see, when I put mine down here, I can get mine pretty close to almost 90 degrees dead down. 90 degrees. We're really only looking for about 60 degrees, but let's see if we both take your hands here, put them straight out, make little fists for me, and now push them down about as far as we can. And if I'll measure you up here, okay. Daniel, you're just about at 60 right there. Mr. Chris, I'm going to measure you also. And you're a little bit more than that. You're at about 70 degrees. So, wow. Daniel, you're probably right about on what we call the border. Okay. Okay. Chris, you're about 10 degrees past it. Right on the border, right on the edge.
Yep, right on the edge.
Okay. So pretty good, but could be a little bit better.
Yep.
And especially somebody that especially somebody like you that likes to play a little bit more competitively than most. Always looking for a way to bump it up a notch. Yeah. So working on the wrist a little bit in this area probably won't hurt you a whole lot.
And I can feel, you know, not making that motion a lot, and I don't have a lot of natural
You can feel it when you're putting it down
in my
there.
Golf swing. I can definitely feel the tightness.
You can feel it when you put it down.
No question.
Okay, so that's flexion. Now let's go the other way. Let's bring them up.
Little motorcycle
as far as you can. Run. Let's rev the motorcycle a little bit. And once again, yeah, and you can see, put it out there.
That actually hurts.
We're kind of a little bit limited there, and we're also looking for about 60 degrees here. Chris is up there well past 60, and you're probably, let's see where we are here.
All right, teacher's little pet over there.
Oh, you're pretty good. You're just about at 60 right there, but once again, an area where I think you could probably get a little bit more improvement there, just to make it so you could set the club a little bit more and maybe hit it a little bit harder. You right now are probably closer to 80 at this angle right here.
I just want to see.
Yeah, wow. You sure are. You're at about 80 right there. So yeah, you've been riding a motorcycle?
No.
No?
Just doing my exercise. You're
just doing your exercises.
You're welcome.
Last one we're going to do is called ulnar and radial deviation, which means we're going to take our hand now and we're going to put them down like this. So as you can see, that's about level right there. You can see how I can bend mine down, which is very important when it comes to, as you can see in my hands here, setting the club right here and then releasing the club when we obviously get down to the impact zone here. But if I can't fully release it, I'm not going to get as much power in my swing as I'd like, and once again, that could cost us distance.
What's the difference in what you just did and a cast? Does it look like you're throwing the hands?
Well, yeah, what I did was literally, to a certain extent, I was releasing a little bit early just to pick it up in the camera. Obviously, we would want that happening down here at impact. We would want to do more of maintaining the angle. When we got down to about here, we'd still want to have some load, but then the hands have the ability to release. So great question.
Yeah.
But the point is we need to be able to set them correctly and release them correctly. So if you both take your hands now and put them right here just like this, and now bend them down as far as you can. As you can see, you're pretty level right there. There's no downward
change
motion.
In the angle.
Yeah, there's no change in the angle.
Yeah.
Okay. Chris has got some change in the angle there, but even his could be going down a little bit farther.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So the question becomes, if we find that our wrists aren't working quite as well as we'd like them to, or we feel like we want to increase the mobility or flexibility or range of motion of them, how do we do that at home? We want to make sure we isolate them. So I have brought in, and both of you will be able to do this in a sec.
I don't know, man.
Lucky
That's a
you
lot
guys,
of
I
weight,
know.
right?
They're
That's
fun.
a lot of weight. You're pushing it now.
I'll bring it right up. A great way to isolate the wrists is to make sure, obviously, they're the only things working, is we sit down in the chair just like you are right here. You rest your forearms, okay, right here on your knees or on your thighs. And for the one we just did, we'll say the deviation, we just start doing some of these right here and just start working them.
Yep.
And it's as simple as that, okay? You can almost hold
Looks
them
easy.
as though you would be holding the golf club, and we're just going up and down right there. For the other ones we were working on, we're down and up. And we start isolating them, because if we're really not working them on a regular basis, they're going to start tightening up.
stiffen it up,
So we
yeah.
really need to make sure that we're continuously working the hands and the wrists.
Now, do you do these drills with your students?
We
at
do.
The JPGA?
Yes.
You do?
We got
Okay.
Izzy Cavito, one of the girl, our student who just won the Player of the Year on the Hurricane Junior Tour. She is actually working to get her wrists better set up top, because she's not getting a full set. As funny
Yeah.
as that sounds, as well as
Yeah.
she's playing, we're trying to make it so
It can
she's
improve.
going to get even
That's right.
more,
Yeah.
you know, zip through the hitting zone so she can get more distance. So I'm going to give those to you.
Okay.
If you'd be kind enough, Mr. Chris, to take those.
Gotcha.
Arms right here, okay, so they're about, you know,
So
a
rest
foot
it on
out
the-
or so.
on
Put them
the
out
thighs?
just a little farther. Okay, now go down as far as you can, keeping it right there.
Wow.
Really push it, and then bring it up as far as you can. Really, so it's nice and tight. And you can feel how the range of motion
I have almost none.
is a little tight.
I have tendonitis in the left elbow, and I can really feel that.
You can feel it working
Yeah,
a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, good. We're all about causing you pain here on Golf Weekly, so
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
Well, it shows.
It shows. Okay, so like I said, you know, just going back and forth like that right there,
Yeah.
and doing it a couple times a day. You know, you can do this at home when you're just, you know, watching, you know, anything on TV,
Golf Weekly.
preferably us, watching WHHI-TV.
Of
course,
But you can be
us.
moving this back and forth. And, you know, do a couple sets. You know, make 10 or 12 a set and do 2 or 3 sets.
And I can feel with each repetition, I can feel a little bit more.
And if you're somebody that
flexibility.
has tight wrists, I think you're going to find you're going to make a lot of improvement in a short period of time here, especially if you don't have an injury. Therefore, you just kind of are getting your range of motion back. But like I said, you really need to make sure this can really bend down, because
Yeah.
it's really going to help you get down there and snap the club. Okay, let's put it like this, so we're
talking
looking at the
about
back of our hands.
If done correctly, this is going to add a lot of power.
It's
a
going
lot
to,
of
well,
speed to the.
if you look at the 3 engines of the swing, the body, the arms, and the hands and wrists.
That's
This
right.
is the third one. This is third
This
gear.
is the
And if this
piston.
isn't snapping,
Yeah.
the whip's not going to snap
Right.
like
Right.
we want it to, or the club when we get down to impact. So
Right.
yeah, this is a big one right here. Okay, put your hands right here. Now let's go down as far as we can and up as far as we can. Keeping
bet.
those arms right there, down as far as you can, up as far as you can. Okay, and you feel those right there?
I sure
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Especially in that left elbow. Whew.
I bet you can. So those are some things you can do at home to really start working on your wrist to help you set
Definitely
the club
need
a
to
little
try
bit
these.
better. Okay. Regular basis, I think you'd be surprised how much they'd start to help you, especially when you grip the club and start to load it and release it a little bit. Okay, you can put those back down at the side of your chair there. Are you okay now?
Yeah, I think I'm going to make it.
I didn't want to wear you out. Okay, the second thing we're going to show you is how important it is to move your ankles independently of your body to help you with balance and transition of weight in the golf swing, okay? One of the tests we do is we call it the inversion-eversion test. We see if you can invert and evert your feet by themselves without using a force of any other kind. So to start out, let's put our fists right here between our knees, okay? Julian, if you could focus down on our feet here. I want you to see how now I'm taking my feet and I'm doing what we call right here. This is inversion and then eversion. Inversion, eversion. As you can see, I'm going back and forth and back and forth. Now that's with my hands between my knees kind of pinching in. Now I want you to watch how I can do it without really moving my knees.
Yeah, you're making
And
that
this
look
is-
very easy.
And this
but
is
viewers,
something we really
listen,
want our
this is
viewers to
not-
work on at home, is
not
finding a
easy.
way to get the ability to do this without moving the knees in and out like this. As you can see, I'm there, and my knees are really hardly moving at all.
Well, watch. I mean, you can see the difference between you and I. I cannot do the evert, especially without a significant shift in my knees, and I feel stiff as a board there.
And this is one of the areas where, once again, we want to loosen up the
Pretty
ankles.
easy.
so that they can work independently. So 2 quick things we can do at home. We call them windshield wipers, okay? Get your feet, get your heels down on the ground and just go back and forth 20 times quick this way, and then get them a little wider and go in and out. And do that a couple times, and you're going to start to feel those muscles down there in the lower part.
Put some music to us, we'd be like the golf boys.
That's right. And you'll start to feel some love down there in the bottom part of your legs that you didn't know existed.
Wow, that's
So
wow.
these are a couple ways that sitting
Very
at home
good.
this year when it's not quite so nice out to play, that you can work on your golf game, get your wrists in shape, get your
I like
ankles
'em.
in better shape.
Great exercise.
Start feeling a little bit so we can get a little better transition of weight because of our ankles and get a little bit more load because of our
Good
wrists.
stuff. So Wonder
good
Twins.
Good job, guys. You did great.
Wonder Triplets.
You did great.
Activate. Guys, thanks so much for joining
so
us.
much.
Great segment here.
Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays to
Happy
you.
holidays to you.
Good to see you.
That's true. Thank you to all our viewers that watch us on a weekly basis. We really appreciate your support. All of our sponsors, Mr. Tremblay, Mr. Hendrix, for all you do. Happy holidays to everybody.
Happy
out there. Have
holidays.
a great new year, and we will see you next year.